Hey everybody, are you ready to see some supersize sales? The sales in this video are from my Facebook group where we have a dedicated thread every month. So make sure you're posting your $100 and over sales in the right place so I can find them and possibly include them in these videos. The sales in this video are from April 2025. And real quick, in case you missed the announcement on the podcast this week, I am transitioning all of my BOLO books to digital downloads, also known as ebooks. Why? Printing costs have just gotten ridiculous. I have these printed before I put them in my store, so it is an upfront cost. These are not print on demand. So we are going in a different direction. People have been asking me to offer the information in ebooks for a long time because they are instant downloads. They're portable. You can keep them on multiple devices. There's no shipping fees. There's also going to be no eBay fees because I'm selling them on my Teachable School website. So they will cost much less. Also, I can update them on a regular basis and create them so much faster. I have the first two editions ready, the yellow and the green, and you can see the link below to purchase those if you don't have them yet. And editions 3 and 4 are on the way. There are a few printed books left in my eBay store, so if you prefer a printed copy, now is the time to grab that. Because once the printed ones are gone, that's it. And yes, there are future editions coming. I don't have an exact date for the 5th edition, but I already have many items on my spreadsheet that will be in the book. So all future editions will be in ebook format. And that's the big project I've been working on. Okay, now let's get started with the $100 and over supersize sales. Rachel Beachy said, super excited to see this sale. Bought these at an estate sale for $7 and listed high. I took an offer of $100 plus shipping. I've got another set listed as well. Ralph Lauren Vintage Paisley Medallion Towel Set. Bath, hand, and washcloth. $7, sold for $100, and those are definitely funky 90s style towels. Bill Hunt. I bought 5 boxes of these gross stickers at a yard sale for $80. Sold these two for $100. Lot of 2 1990s Tops Bathroom Buddy stickers. Well, I hadn't heard of those. They kind of remind me of Wacky Packs. So, some stickers sold for $100. Joshua Harrison. This was given to me by my step-grandfather with the intent to have me sell it on eBay. He told me he paid $100 for it. I couldn't find anything like it, so I decided to list it for what he paid for it. Took 11 months to sell. As soon as someone sent me an offer, it sold for full asking price. So it's a vintage backgammon game with the suitcase, the leather case, $100. Tamara Western, free to me, sold for full asking price in less than 48 hours. Jewelry isn't my forte, though I inherited a lot of it. I'm slowly researching and selling the pieces. Barbara Bixby pink pearl black sapphire ring. Beautiful, beautiful item. This was free and it sold for $119. Joan Haynes, free from a wonderful friend, sold for $102 on best offer after about 4 months and lots of interest. My first sale of over 100 buckaroos. This is a Mackenzie Childs Harvest Acorn Table Runner, beaded and lined. And isn't that pretty? And you can see the heavy beading on it. So just over $100 on that. Maggie May, I've been trying to sell these cream soup and saucer sets for over 2 years. I accepted a best offer of $104 for all 8 yesterday. Thrilled to see them go. I've already made my money back and then some from this set, so all profit after shipping and fees. 8 Royal Worcester Contessa China two-handled cream soup and saucers, $104. Steve Gittler paid $45 for the set at an estate sale last month. Sold 16 pieces to replacements for $224. This buyer bought 2 sets of 4 plates each for $106.20 total. I've still got 15 pieces listed. This is Wedgwood China Nantucket 8-inch salad plates set of 4. And now we've got Mark Sherrill with a fun item. Paid $7 at Ollie's, sold for $120 plus $9 shipping. It is 4 Lipton iced tea mix, unsweetened. So how about that? Ollie's is where the discontinued items sometimes go, like Big Lots. So can you imagine selling some iced tea for $120? And yeah, people out there are paying that. And look, it says out of stock. He sold all of them. Okay, we've got Kim Sipe. Bought at a yard sale for $10, took best offer after 9 months of $140. This is a singing skeleton animatronic pirate life-size 5-foot Halloween decoration, and she included a video, which was very smart. You always want to do that if your item has any moving parts or makes sound, or if a video is going to help sell it. And this is also proof that you know what I'm going to say. eBay knows no seasons. This sold in April and it's a Halloween decoration. So if you have it listed, you never know when it's going to sell. $10, sold for $140. Lori Knowles paid $40 for a complete set at an estate sale about a year ago. I have made a lot of money. Everyone walked right past this set. This sale was for 1 cup. It is an antique Lenox Tiffany blue gold teacup. And this 1 teacup sold for $143. Somebody was saying on the Facebook group that people aren't spending money right now. They're keeping their money close to their chest, and it's really slow, and people just aren't buying non-essential things. And I'm sorry, but I just disagree. Like, everything in this video is non-essential. So it just depends on who you ask and who you talk to, but I don't think you can make generalized statements like that people aren't buying. Because the proof is right here. Yes, they are. People have money for what they want to buy. That's the bottom line. So don't let comments like that discourage you from selling on eBay, because all you have to do is look at completed listings and look at things that have sold, and there's the proof right there that, yeah, people are spending money. And next up is Amy KG. Bought this Susan Branch mug for 50 cents at an estate sale. These mugs go for good money, and when I listed it, there were none with this design listed. I figured I would shoot for the moon and entertain offers, so I priced it at $149.99. It sold in 10 minutes for the full asking price. So this is Susan Branch Blueberg mug retired. Fine English bone china. $150, and she paid 50 cents for it. So way to go, Amy. Okay, here's another non-essential item. Leanne Scrock said, yesterday I bought 5 boxes of vintage cloth diapers from our church rummage sale for $5 each. Within a couple of hours of listing, I had an offer to buy all 5 boxes for $95 each for a total of $475. So glad to be part of this group where I can learn about these crazy bolos. So this is just one box here. Vintage Curity cloth diapers, box of 12, foldable, new in box. And this one was priced at $149.95. And she took $95 each for 5 boxes. So not a bad flip within a couple of hours. Somebody had money to buy vintage cloth diapers. Okay, Bethany Henderson paid $4, sold for offer of $150 in a week. Johnny was Bia Lyra velvet zodiac boho embroidered velvet top. $4 sold for $150. And Bethany finds Johnny Was a lot. I've only found it a couple of times in my eBay career, so good for you, Bethany. Next up is Kathy Brialt. Bought at a thrift store for $8. Sold after 4 months for an offer of $150. Vintage Bakelite billiard pool balls set of 15 cue ball, including a cue ball, regular size. $8, sold for $150. Okay, Shelley Carpenter Wood. Free to me. I have many watches, over 200. Listed on a 5-day auction and sold 2 of the 4 lots to a single buyer within minutes of listing for $75 each at auction with a total of $150 using Buy It Now. These listed as untested. So these are 2 different listings, 2 different sets. The total was $150. And yeah, these were untested, may not work, and they still sold. Barbara Rosen Knight paid $15 at Goodwill outside my regular shopping circle. Sold for full price of $169.99 in 3 weeks. Picked up some other high value pots at this location, so we'll be making it part of my regular stores to visit. Yeah, I would too, Barbara. This is an all-clad 5.5 quart Dutch oven with domed lid. $15, sold for just under $170. We've got Lori Knowles again, paid $12. This is Pottery Barn Eloise Garden Reversible Percale Comforter. Full queen with 1 sham. Sold for $174. You people are rocking these linens out there. I rarely find brand new linens, so always on my radar, just haven't found them yet. Ginger Lampright. I picked this up at a garage sale last June for $20. Sold for full asking price with free shipping. Shipping was about $8. This is Intuition by Estee Lauder. It's EDT spray for men and also includes aftershave balm. $20, sold for $179.99. And here is the lovely tie listing that we talked about on Kathy's podcast a couple weeks ago. She just has these laid out so beautifully. She said, I saw someone tossing a grocery bag full of ties in the trash, so I took them off her hands. So these were free to me. Half were not sellable, but these were. So I pressed them and I listed, and they sold for full asking price in a week of $179.99. The listing is titled Vintage Brooks Brothers Tie Lot of 20 Men's Designer True Silk England Dress, meaning they're dress ties. So they were free, and she presented them just so beautifully, so artistic, for just under $180. Bill Hunt paid up for this at a Newfound honey hole. I bought a pile that day, so this item probably works out between $20 and $50. Sold for $199.93 in 3 days. Volkswagen bus VW front nose circular emblem. Look at that. Nothing screams 70s like a VW bus. $20 and sold for just under $200. Okay, Dana Golnick. This was donated to her from a friend. Sold for $212 in 4 weeks. I had never heard of Mignon Gavagan, so this label is a new BOLO. Well, Dana, I've never heard of that either. And this sold for $212, and it was free. Jody Clark paid $5.09 at Goodwill for this Loro Piana polyester vest. Sold in about an hour for $212.46 plus $9.95 shipping. It is a Loro Piana Storm System vest, size extra large. Julie Gambino, purchased at Goodwill for $9.99, sold for full asking price in a couple of months for $247.50. And so who says you can't find stuff at Goodwill anymore? People are finding stuff all the time. You just got to keep looking. You just can't give up. You just got to keep looking. 107 vintage Tudor plate silverware Queen Bess II Oneida service for $12. It was $10 and sold for $247.50. Okay, we've got Brett Stewart. I bought this in 2017 from Goodwill for $20. I know, I dragged my feet on this one. I wanted to repair it as it sells for $600 fully working. I just didn't want to fix it. I was asking $299.99. It took a best offer of $250. Took a month to sell, plus holding on to it for 8 years. Vintage Greek goddess creators hanging oil rain lamp for parts or repair. So it shows it lighted up in the picture there. Must have been something else wrong with it. But still, it was $20, and 8 years later, he sold it for $250. Now, I really love this item, Sarah Eakes. I purchased at a Salvation Army for $15, sold in 24 hours for $270. I think I mentioned this on another post here a few months ago, but I always look up China patterns and sort for highest sold, because you'll find nice surprises like this. Most pieces in this pattern do not sell for much, but the teapot was an amazing find. So it is a new with tag Noritake Japan Rothschild 3-cup coffee or teapot. Now, why do I love this so much? Because this was my China pattern back in the day. I got married in 1988, and I had a good friend that got married in 1986, and her pattern was Noritake Shenandoah. and I loved it so much, but I just couldn't possibly have gotten the same exact one as her. So I went with the Rothschild, and I just loved that china. And probably about 10 years into my marriage, when I was a stay at home mom and we were poor, I did sell my china. I put an ad in the newspaper and I sold all of it to one person, and I made some great money on it. So, desperate times call for desperate measures when you sell stuff. But I didn't entertain. I didn't ever use it. It was just sitting in the cabinet, and it was pretty to look at. But you know, I was poor. Only one income, stay-at-home mom, two kids. You do what you got to do. But this is a beautiful piece. Okay, Laura Harmon has a story with hers. She said, found two sets of new old stock skateboard wheels from, I believe, the 1970s for $3.50 each at the Habitat for Humanity store. Had on a 7-day auction starting at $2.99 and had a ton of views and watchers but zero bids. Had a person message me right before the auction ended, offering me $200 for both sets. Nope. The auction was for both sets. Relisted as buy it now for $650. I listed high because I couldn't find any other ones like these, much less new in the package. I checked all the usual places: eBay image search, Google image search, WorthPoint. Of course, I had best offer. I got an offer last night for $300 for one set. So I made them a new listing with one new set, and they purchased immediately for 300. Now I have the other set listed for 350 for less than 24 hours and already have views and watchers. This was a new category for me. Here's what I learned. Check out the sports equipment. Don't be afraid to look for new things. And always look up new old stock items. And if you can't find anything on them, list high with best offer. So that is a great story. Who ever would have dreamed you would find sporting goods, skateboard wheels at Habitat for Humanity store? Stuff is just hiding everywhere. So again, these are new old stock 1970s Stoker roller urethane skateboard wheels. And those are new in the package and sold for $300. Okay, Shelley Carpenter Wood has been very busy. This is another combo type posting. Sold this huge lot of Lego Bionicles. It was free to me, sold for a combined $406.50. We divided them into two lots for better shipping prices. Over 27 pounds, so we did not even try to sort or organize. First bids came within 5 minutes of listing. I am loving auctions again. So she's got two listings here. One sold for 255, one sold for 152.50, and they are Lego Bionicles. Yeah, that would be very tedious to sort all those, and some people just love listings like this where it's just a big old jumble of stuff, and then they get it in the mail and then they go through it, and that is just fun for them. So good for you, Shelley, for cleaning out some things, watches and all these Bionicles, and that's an inspiration. Just lot stuff up and sell it. Okay, George Kelly has an unusual item for George Kelly. It's not a train, it's not an antique, it's vintage Barbie clothes. And I'm showing you this because anybody can sell anything. So he says he bought this lot of vintage Barbie clothes at an estate sale a few years ago. I bought a lot of items that day for one price and have nothing invested in this group. They sold at auction for $414. Vintage Mattel Barbie clothing and accessories lot. So here's the question, George. This was purchased a few years ago. I feel like I need to come to your house and go through some of your inventory that's been sitting there and just take it off your hands for you. So If you ever want to have a me come and do a private pick, let me know. You and Brett Stewart with your stuff that's been sitting there for years. I'm just so jealous of that. Next up is Alta, and I'm going to take a stab at your last name, Alta. Bezudenhout? Tell me if that is close. Or I can just call you Alta B. Anyway, she said this was my first ever over $100 sale and beat it by quite a margin. I will only breathe easily once she is delivered and the buyer gives feedback. But for now, I am super excited. Bought her in a large lot of vintage Barbie clothes, dolls, and cases for only 25 Canadian dollars for the lot. This is American Girl Barbie vintage long hair, silver brunette, original outfit with stand. This sold for $445.07. So this is totally a non-essential item. Somebody had almost $500 to buy this Barbie. So think about that when you're feeling sad about the economy. There's people like that out here spending all this kind of money. And here's another one. Roselle talked about this Christmas ornament on the podcast this week. She said, I bought this Kugel ornament for $20 with several retro ornaments last fall for myself. After Christmas, it didn't fit into my Christmas storage box, so I decided to list it. I researched it using grape cluster as keywords and found no other ones. Digging deeper, I found this shape is called berry. Then I realized its value, even though it had some wear to the silvering, listed and sold for full price of $534.99 in several days. So we were trying to describe this on the podcast, and so it kind of sort of looks like a cluster of grapes, but it's not elongated enough to be grapes. Her title is Antique German Green Mercury Glass Kugel Berry Shape Ornament. 20 bucks, and it's sold for just under $535. Okay, George Kelly has another one. I bought this taxidermy bobcat rug at a family run estate sale for $200. Accepted a best offer of $475. Took a few weeks to sell. This is bobcat taxidermy rug. Full hide, head, open mouth, fur, claws, and tail. No limits on what you can sell, but do check the eBay, what's allowed policy, because there are some animal products you cannot sell, like anything made of ivory, for example. If you're not sure, just go check the rules. And we're going to end with Tamarin Smith McClure, my biggest sale to date. Bought these at a yard sale for $200. Sold in 4 months for best offer of $950. Wizard of Oz rare set, bust, numbered original boxes, full set. $200 and flipped for $950. Okay, that wraps up another edition of eBay Supersize Sales. And yes, these were mostly non-essential items. Frills. People are spending their money. Dive into those death piles of stuff that, I don't know, could have been sitting there for years, and your items could sell right away. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy selling, everybody. Bye.